Hey, Tubies! This is Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be with you. Well, you guys are just making my day. Thank you so much for all your wonderful letters and your comments. And a lot of you seem to enjoy seeing yesterday's video, which was a little clip from the channel panel. The channel panel was an event that I did earlier this month, and it was really cool because I had a number of prominent psychics there. And I got to meet Kelly Coffey, whose YouTube channel is Kelly in the Raw. And it's funny because I've been a fan of hers for a long time, and I didn't realize we were actually going to get to meet. So that's a little clip of our meeting. And she is just really awesome. So you definitely have to go check her out. Check out her channel. It's Kelly in the Raw. I'll have links below. But anyways, thanks for coming out for that. Well, here we are. It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Time for a Saturday night seance. That's right. For those of you who are new, every week we gather and we have a little seance. And I'm a trance channel. And what that means is that I go into a trance state, and the spirit guides overshadow my consciousness and speak through me. I never know what's going to happen. It's always interesting, that's for sure. And, I just invite you guys to come and be part of our circle. Welcome to my virtual living room. If you were physically here, I'd just say pull up your chairs here around my chair. That's the way we always used to do it in the Spiritualist Church. Just form a little circle of chairs, and then we open the door between the worlds. So that's how it goes. So I'm so glad you're here. Well, I'm going to settle down and go into trance, and we'll see what happens. So pull up your chairs, and let's just center ourselves. I'll see you when I get back. Oh, greetings. This is Fletcher here. Well, we're getting the body all situated. Looks like the current is strong tonight, and the veil between the worlds is quite thin. We're so glad that all of you could be with us tonight. Well, I'll be stepping from the body. We got some other people here who want to be talking tonight. Greetings, my dears. This is Rose. It's such a blessing to be here with all of you. We're so thrilled that you had the opportunity to come through our medium. We thank you for gathering with us tonight. You know, many of you have been calling out to me. You've said, Rose, come and help me. And I'm very pleased to come and be of assistance to you. Many humans forget that in the earthly life, they must always know that they do not need to travel alone. There's a great belief on the earth that to be a strong person, to be a successful person, one must travel alone. This is not true, my dear. Everybody should have a companion along the way. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic companion, but it should be somebody that you trust implicitly. For many of you, your companion will be your spirit guide. For those of you who have not yet found this companion, might we encourage you to open your mind, open your heart to receiving information from our world. When I was alive on the earth, my neighbor Madge used to often speak of her spirit guide. And who was this Rose? Will you come to our seance tonight? My spirit guide is going to come through and speak. And I used to say, Madge, I don't have time for this nonsense. I don't have time for spirit guides. I've got the ambassador coming over to a party tomorrow. And she used to say, oh, Rose, you're missing out. You really need to have help from the spirit people. I said, well, you know, I go to church. That's quite enough for me. And she knew, Madge knew, that if we would let spirit into our life, everything would be better. And so I encourage each of you, do not have fear of letting the spirit into your life. Over here there are many souls who wander about. They look upon the earth plane, and they say, if only I could help those humans, yet they refuse to let me in. Please understand that over here we are gentle people. We do not force our will on you. Whilst on the earth you are in sovereign control of your own destiny. But if you allow us to be part of your journey, you will find that your journey becomes much more peaceful, much more joyful, and I'd like to even say a little bit more productive. This is the work that we do. Whenever a human calls upon help from the spirit world, many angels and guides rush to people to be of assistance. So in those moments when you feel that you're in your darkest hour, do not think yourself utterly alone, for we are gathered around waiting for the opportunity to be of service. I see upon the earth many people who walk about in a depression. They feel that they have lost all their friends, they may have lost their spouse and their loved ones, and they think, well, here I am, old and alone. But you'll see, many of their loved ones and friends are all still around them, gathering and always waiting for the opportunity. If you find yourself wondering about your dead friends, let me remind you that no one really ever dies. They only transition. They cross into the light. And when they cross into the light, their souls become luminous and glow. Their mind becomes clear. And all of that hostility and negativity from the earth realm drops away. You might say they become the perfected forms of themselves. And you see that perfected form is now able to see through your problem clearly. This is why it's so very important not to forget those who have died, but to seek their guidance and friendship and love. They can be of more assistance to you once they come here than they ever could on earth. I know some of you say, well, you can't understand, Rose. My friend was my soulmate, my best help in life. It's true that they are at a distance from you physically, but spiritually there is no time, space, nor distance, and the very person that you loved is still available to you. But you must open your mind and heart to receive them. I know there are some who say, but Rose, you know, my loved one died, and I've waited for years. I've never yet received a communication from them. Oh, my dear, you must be careful how you judge communication. For example, you might say, well, I asked for them to come and appear to me, and they haven't. But then you get in the car and you hear a song that was their favorite song that you and them used to listen to. Sometimes you must say, oh, that's a lovely song, and drift back in your memory. But have you considered that that music on the radio may have very well been prompted by their presence? They may have adjusted your dial or influenced the radio station to play that song at that time and arranged it all. Over here, the spirits go through many machinations to get their message across to you. It's true, as I said, we cannot directly interfere, so we must work within the bounds of law, but we can influence and inspire, and where we're allowed to, make ourselves known. So if you're seeking a sign from those whom you love, be open that that sign may come in many ways. It might come as, for example, walking through a library or a bookstore, and a book flies off a shelf, lands at your feet. And it may be by an author that your deceased loved one read all the time. So you say, well, it's strange that a book flipped off the shelf. But really it was pushed by a spirit hand to be a message to you. So our messages sometimes are overlooked or not even noticed, though we do try to make an influence on you. So if you find yourself in that position of not knowing and being worried, and you say to yourself, well, I cannot influence anything in the spirit world, I'm waiting and waiting. Consider again that they may send the message in a different way than you expect, and so you must allow for that. Just a moment, somebody else is here. Again I find myself in great joy. The chance to visit and be of service to you is what I now live for. Many of you have wandered in the darkness like I did, your minds confused, feeling empty, feeling alone. As Rose has said, and aptly so, you are not ever alone. No one over here is really dead. We're all alive, simply in a different form. Consider that your consciousness is far more greater than you can imagine. You tend to think while in the body of the physical. You say, I have this talent and this knowledge. But what your physical brain and mind and consciousness do not see is that behind your physical self there is a spiritual self with a vast knowledge that expands thousands of years, thousands of lifetimes. And the collected wisdom within your soul is far greater than your current consciousness. So when your mind hits upon a wall, let's say that you feel that you cannot penetrate a thought and your mind is frozen, whether through fear or sorrow, in that moment consider that within you is many lifetimes, that you've been many people. Inside of you is all knowledge and experience. Perhaps you wish to travel to India, and yet you feel at a loss, for you cannot go at this time. If you seek the knowledge of India, perhaps within you there is a lifetime where you have lived there. Be open to the fact that your past lives could surface, and so in times when you most need them. So do not limit your mind by thinking you do not have a talent or a knowledge. When I was upon the earth, I prided myself in my oratory. I used to think, well, I could win all the best debates at Cambridge. And I now understand where that ability came from. Why I had practiced oration in former lives. I had walked in the Roman Forum and spoke great things about the emperors. I had lived in ancient Greece and spoke great philosophies. I had traveled the world and seen many things in former lives. All of this contributed to my current lifetime's ability to have knowledge and inspiration. And if you are more aware of your inner self, you will access that knowledge and that inspiration, and you will not be at a loss. Those who find themselves at a loss for words only need practice meditation, for if you make it your discipline, you will access the inner knowing, the knowledge of lifetimes, countless lifetimes, might I say. So do not have fear that you cannot progress forward. Do not have fear that you are lost, for you are returned to the earth in order that you might take the previous acquired knowledge and use it in new ways. Rose is very correct when she said, do not feel that you must go it alone, for around you are also very wise beings, people who have also lived many lifetimes. The good fortune is that after one dies, one is able to fully clearly see one's current lifetime that has passed, but also other lifetimes. Here the Akashic records allow us to understand the movements of history, and as well as our place within it, if we should so desire. Understanding this increases one's knowledge. And when we look upon the earth from our vantage point, we can see movements in history, and it is very true that history repeats itself. But do not let yourself become enmeshed in fear that, well, if I've had a bad former life, that I cannot redeem myself. The very fact that you are incarnate means that you have a contract with your higher self and with God himself to grow and to reform and to be more like the light. It is true that it is the veritable mercy of God that allows you to be upon the earth. The mercy of God allows all of us to grow, to make amends for our past errors, and to find joy and peace. Do not give up on hope. If I had not given up on hope, I would have progressed much more in my last life. But you see, now that I am here, I've come to understand all that has occurred, and I am now able to make amends. It is my hope that as a spirit guide, I will be able to save you from making the mistakes and walking the path of destruction that I did. Be at peace with yourself, love yourself, and let the Spirit guide you. And as Roses said, do call upon us, for we are only a whisper away. My name is Alfred. Oh, there we are. Can you hear me? I think I've been aboard here. This is Rose again, my dears. We're so very pleased with Alfred. Can you see the progress that he's making here? It does my heart good to know that he's embracing the light more and more every day. He has reported to me that many of you called upon him, and he has been most pleased to be of service to all of you. And it is my wish also to be of great service. You see, as I told you before, my friend Madge always said, Rose, come, we'll help you connect to your spirit guide. And you know, I was so ignorant of spiritual truth that I brushed it all aside. And now I look upon the earth and I see humans who are very wise, and they work with their guides. So many blessings they have. And I think these are wise people, very wise. If only I could have been so wise. But you know, over here in the spirit world, I get to study all the mysteries of life. I get to explore galaxies and cosmoses and all the knowledge of the spirit world has to offer. And so my mind is expanding, my heart is expanding. And when I can come and be of service to those on the earth, I have even greater joy, greater love in my heart. And I know that all of you are growing in the light. So do not think that you're alone. Always call upon us. We're most pleased to help you. And I would consider it a great honor to be of service to your world. You know, it's very interesting because I often look back and I say to myself, Rose, how did you make such mistakes and be so spiritually blind? And I realized then, you know, that it was simply arrogance and ignorance. And so these are traps that humans fall into. We oftentimes say to ourselves, well, I don't need that. I know all about that. Don't have time for that. But you know, if I were to come back to Earth, oh, but I don't think I will come back to Earth. It's a little bit frightful for me. But I would say if I were to come back to Earth again, I would ask God to help me always keep my mind open and to never reject any truth. You see, the rejection of truth greatly limited my soul progress. It's true I'm doing a lot of progress over here in our world, but you know I could have been much farther along had I been open to it upon the earth. And I dare say all of you here tonight who have gathered, you're the advanced ones. You know in your heart that you're being called by Spirit. And I'm so honored to have the opportunity to come here tonight to meet with you. We over in the spirit world are very touched when humans listen to us and wait on us patiently. And we will make our best effort always to be present for you. And as tonight our medium allows us to come through him, we consider it a great honor that we are in union with those of you upon the earth who are ready for spiritual light and spiritual growth. So I say to each of you, be of good cheer, have love in your heart, and remember to call upon us. Fletcher's asked me to step from the body now, but I'm so pleased to meet you. And as I step from the body, I send my light and my love to all of you. And do remember to call upon us. The power is fading now, and so I must go. But it is a blessing to be here with all of you. And please call upon me. Call upon my Rose. Come to me. Hey Tubies, this is Bob Hickman. Well, I tell you, I always feel blessed when I get to do channeling. It's hard to explain, but it's one of these experiences, and I think you can ask anybody who channels, and they'll tell you it's like you get just filled with love. The spirit people bring love to us. They bring energy. They bring renewed hope. And it really does bring heaven just a little bit closer to us. So I thank you for being here tonight for our little seance. If you enjoyed tonight's channeling, you might want to pop over to my website at robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link in the info box below. You can pick up some of my books over there. This is one that's about my guide, Rose, who I often channel. Messages from Rose, and you can get that over there. I think you'll like this. This book is about my early days as a medium and working with Rose. So it's an autobiographical book, but I think you'll really enjoy it. You're over there. You can also pick up my other books, Ouija Mysteries, the Spirit Board Seances. And that talks about working with the Ouija board and my adventures with that. And also we've got Wiccan Wisdom. And a lot of you have been saying, how much you enjoy this, and a lot of you have been buying it. So you see, we got a lot of books, a lot of options. So if you want to work on your spiritual connections, get some good reading material in. But definitely check these books out over at at robert-hickman.com. Well, you guys rock, and I hope that you'll keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow I've got a special treat for you. I recently received an amazing artwork, and I'm going to tell you all about that tomorrow, and we'll show it to you. But there's an artist who's been watching me and also watching Rob Gauthier, the E.T. Whisperer. And I think you'll be amazed at what we've got to show you tomorrow. So definitely be back here on Sunday for an amazing little art show. That's all I'm going to say. It's a surprise. Till tomorrow. Well, guys, listen, thanks for being here. I hope you'll like this video, favorite, share it with your friends, hit subscribe. Let's get this out to people. Let's spread the word of Spirit Channel, because we're trying to be a force for good. And I want to say thank you to all of you who've been joining in on prayers every night during the novena for peace, and also the prayers for my friend Crystal Owl. She's been very touched by that. So thank you for your prayers. Let's keep them going. We still got a lot of work to do in spirit, and I'm just glad you're here. So I send you my blessings, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on Sunday. Blessed be.